Okay, so I'm ready to sew my embellishments onto the front of my ugly doll, and I'm going to show you how we're going to thread our needle. We don't need two pieces of fabric, so we don't want it to go through to the back. We just need our embellishment that we're going to sew on, a needle, and our thread. Now the thread shouldn't be too long because you'll get tangled if it's too long. And if you have the skill to thread your eye of the needle, you are welcome to try, but I have a technique that's even better. I have a hot dog bun here. Well, that's what we're going to call it. It's a piece of paper, a little rectangle that I've folded in half and is able to go through the eye of the needle so it's not too wide. Except we're going to do that same technique, except to use it to thread our needle with the embroidery thread. So I'm going to put my hot dog on the inside of my hot dog bun, keeping it closed. You are going to get this tip and it's going to go through the eye of the needle like so, and then pull that out the other side enough that it won't come undone. I would like you to always have this end of your thread undone so that we can pull our needles off when we need to. But we do need to tie a knot in our long end. And one of the easiest way to tie a knot to make it nice and big so it won't come through is to do a French knot or a beehive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round through the hole, except I'm going to go through a few more times. Maybe 4, 5, up to 3, 4, 5, and then when you pull that tight, you will end up with a nice big knot. And this is ideal to stop the thread coming all the way through. I'm going to start with that thread behind my doll so that it's not visible. And I'm going to poke the pointy end of the needle through and then pull so the knot is landing on the back of the fabric. And then I'm going to go through to the back, getting tangled here, and then through to the front. It is easier if you do not flip your felt up and down. You just poke through and then pull it through from the other side. Use your hands to feel where it is. Up through the front, pull it through. I'm also holding it by the eye so that the thread doesn't come undone. Down, pull it through, up, pull it through. Keep one thread out, one thread loose, the short thread loose. So when you get to the end, and if you want your knot hidden on the back, you can find a thread to tie it to if you wish, or you can do what's called a French knot. So that's poking through a little bit of fabric and then wrapping the thread around. Now mine is not long enough, so I'm not going to be able to do that. 1, 3, just long enough, and then putting my thumb on and pulling that through. Okay, when you want to sew a line like this, something that's very narrow, I've cut this out of felt. You might want to do this with a back stitch and just use the embroidery thread to draw your lines, but I'm going to show you a couching stitch. I have my needle threaded up, I've got my short end about halfway and my big chunky beehive knot at the end, and I'm going to start from behind, threading up through the green, pulling it through. And couching technique is when you go over and you're holding it in place a little bit like you might hold a piece of paper in place using sticky tape. So pulling it through so it's going to hold it on top. Threading up, pulling through, and then going over the top, holding that felt in place. You could of course sew the felt on. This is just another technique.